I'm from Brazil, Salvador, Bahia, and I work with the government, the cultural part of the government of Bahia, and we are here to promote the music from Bahia, and are very happy with this event and together with Mondomix, because just now we are showing the Musique Mestis there and Museu de Músicas Negras, o Centro de Músicas Negras.
Yes, I'm Mark Benaish, and I'm running Mondomix, and we are building with Kalinosh Brown and the support of the Brazilian government and the French government, the Black Music Center building, and I will talk about it later and give you the.
I'm Christian Mousset. I'm representing a famous festival of world music in France, which has invited by the past along of many Brazilian musicians. And also we were part in this event called l'année du Brésil en France in 1995, and we have invited 4 groups of Brazilian music. And this year, during l'année de la France au Brésil, we are put together a project to invite musicians from Africa, which is also which is not really France, but which is important because we have done a lot of projects with African musicians during all this year, and we are supported by the French government to introduce this artist in Brazil, and also by the region. He represents Salvador de Bahia and the government of Bahia, and myself I represent Angoulême and the Poitou-Charentes region, which is one of the regions very interesting in France.
Excellent.
And this project is really something important for us, because to connect African musicians to the great Salvador de Bahia Brazilian musician, it's a dream for most of them. It is very important, and myself it's a dream since I was a baby to go to Salvador de Bahia.
My name is Valérie Tufouin. I'm working for Culture France, that is a cultural operator for French Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Culture. Culture France is the institution in charge of realizing, setting up this big cultural season between France and Brazil called França.br, that is a French season in Brazil, dedicated to strengthen the relationship between Brazil and France. That is the second step of this relationship, because in the year 2005, we have in France the Brazilian season, so now it's a French season in Brazil. And this big season began in the end of April this year, 21st of April, and the closing will be the 15th of November. I'm personally working for a specific program inside Culture France dedicated to promotion of African and Caribbean arts, in charge of music. And if we are here today, it's because we are involved in the funding. We sustain 2 projects that is sounding important for us, because that links in one part all the works we are doing to promote African and Caribbean music, and links also the way we support French cultural initiative to be exported abroad. And we have these 2 projects that are 2 complementary projects for us. By one side, we have the Center of Black Music, and the export of this huge, important music festival for the world music in France, that is Musique Métis. And through a platform of several African artists, Christian will tell after the name, coming from Africa and from Caribbean space. We join in the same time these two events through the multimedia exhibition of Center of Black Music that happens in the same venue, that is Museo do Ritmo from Carlinhos Brown. And it was important for us to be partner of these two events because it happens in the emblematic city of Brazil for African roots, that is Salvador. And it happens also at the closing of the season during a month that in Brazil is the month where they celebrate the Black conscience. Black conscience, you will correct exactly. Voilà.
So it feels like the axis that Salvador is between Brazil and Africa is really being recognized at this moment with the museum and the festival. Can you explain a little bit more about how the state is involved in promoting that?
Well, to us it's very important this moment because it's difficult but necessary to build this bridge between Salvador, Bahia and the Africa. We are the state of Brazil that have the biggest population, black population. We have 8% of our population are from black people. And it's necessary make this dialogue between the culture of the black people from Brazil and Bahia and the Africa. These two projects are strategic to us, and I think that they will generate a lot of different other projects and situations and interchange. It's in November. In November we have the 20th of the November is the conscience of the black culture there. Then it's just very symbolic. These two projects are happening in November. And for the government of the Bahia, this is a strategic action in the culture. I think that Carlinhos Brau is the excellent artist to receive in their place, in his place, these two big projects like this.
And one of them, Musique Métis Festival, is happening from the 12th to the 16th of November, and the other project is going to be a permanent exhibition, is that correct?
Yeah.
The Black Music Center,
Yeah.
which I understand is launching on the 12th of November.
For the Black Music Center on the 12th of November, so at the end of the year of France in Brazil, it will be the pre-launch of the building of the project, because it's a permanent project. Among all the seasons and these cultural exchanges, a lot are events which are just for the season. Mm-hmm. And what we have proposed to Brazil and France is to profit from that event to create something permanent and really on a long time scale. So and because the ambition of the project is huge, because it's the first time that 1,000 square meters will describe these wonderful adventures, this wonderful history of black music all over the world, not just black music from Brazil or black music from Africa or black music from North America. The idea is to show how things are mixed, are linked through geography, through history, through artists. And so the Black Music Center will open its doors, I hope, by the beginning of 2011. And on the 12th of November, it's the start of the construction on both sides. The construction of all the content production, because this center will be a 1,000 square meter exhibition, permanent exhibition, without any object, without any artifact. It will be just interactive installation, very sensorial, spectacular installation, and it's a journey of 3 hours. Each visitor will be equipped with augmented reality system, so it's a big multimedia like an iPhone, but with dedicated to, and so they will be able to listen all the music, to do their own playlist, to discover things, to enter into spaces and have a strong experience. There is a scientific committee of 20 persons who worked on the project, and the project is co-produced with Carlinhos Brown and with the team of Mondomix, and also the architect and scenographer is Pedro Mendes da Rocha. He's a Brazilian architect and scenographer who did the best multimedia museum in Brazil, in São Paulo, the Museu de la Lingueza Portuguesa, so the Portuguese language museum. And it's a wonderful museum in Estação da Luz in São Paulo, and it will do a wonderful place in Museu do Ritmo for that music. And we are very happy to link that event to Musique Métis, because at Mondomix we are following Musique Métis now since the beginning of Mondomix. So Musique Métis, it's a lot older than us, but since 11 years we are every year participating to this wonderful festival, and to have this festival in Salvador, it's a wonderful opportunity. Maybe Christian, you can tell us a little bit.
No, very quick, because the time is running. We can maybe give the name of the artist. We will participate both sides, or some of them. For example, we have Tikenja Fakoli from Ivory Coast, Awadi, which is coming from Senegal and which is more hip-hop, Munira Muchera, which is a female vocal singer from Chad, and we will have also Les Tambours de Brazza, which is a huge band from Congo, percussion, and also Bello from Haiti, and last but not least Cheka from Cape Verdean Island.
Many of these artists are playing for the first time in Brazil.
Yeah, most of them. And this is very important. It's very important because we'll have we will be invited by the great Salvadorian artists like Olodum, Margaret Meneses, or Carlinhos Brown, and many more. And it's very interesting because there will be a real exchange between both sides of the Atlantic, and we have chosen major artists, but younger, from the new generation of talented of Africa. And Africa is a huge continent, but Brazil is also a huge continent for music, and it's very interesting to make this exchange. This is the first step, we hope, of something for the future. And on my side in Angoulême this year, I will invite also Brazilian artists and from Salvador to exchange also and to mix their project. It's very interesting and very important for us. And Salvador is a huge city with a great energy, and I heard that it's only in Salvador 127 percussion groups. This is crazy, no? This is like, I think New Orleans was in the beginning of the 20th century. It's a great opportunity to be there and to be part of this event.
I was just going to ask about it. I mean, it feels like, you know, through this year of France and Brazil, you've created some links that will go on into the future for a long time. That through this year of France in Brazil, you've created some connections which will continue into the future.
I can't speak for all the project because during all the season, in 8 months, there are more than 600 events. So I imagine some of them will be nurtured and live after the 15th of November. What you have to know also that this season it's not only cultural. They have also other fields like research, science, social, economics. So it's a huge time. So I imagine some. For example, this Center for Black Music, that will be the first beginning in November. We hope to return back in 1 year and see all the huge project complete. What was important for us in these two projects, because it's in the same place, in the same venue, it's the same Brazilian producer with Janela do Mundo, but it's complementary. One is more patrimonial, but in a very high and modern presentation, because I think it will be unique to, through this multimedia technology, to work and hold the music, the black music, through space and time, to access to it. And in the same time, when people from Bahia, and I hope from other countries, will come to visit Bahia at that time, after that journey through music, they will have in live the show with African artists, Caribbean artists, Brazilian artists.
Fantastic. I was going to ask you, Gilberto, if that Black Music Centre will be quite unique in Brazil because of the way that it's merging technology with education.
Yes, the center of the black music has educational. It's fundamental for us, and there is a point that it's strategic that the Bahia needs to connect with other centers of the black music. It's important way to do now.
You mean to connect outside Brazil?
Outside Brazil, into Brazil and outside Brazil, because this way of the black culture goes by the Atlantic. This diaspora changes in a lot of different kinds of music and culture, black culture, and the Bahia has so closed inside and don't dialogue with other frontiers, and I think that this project will possibilitate this kind of thing.
Yes.
And it will be important to the people from Bahia and to the Brazil to go there and understand more about the black culture. It's I think that nothing like this happened before, and probably will a mark, a point in this history in Salvador, in Bahia.
Excellent, thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Judy.